we are going to move on here, and we are going to talk about some Cowboys and Steelers, and man, let's get right to it.
Yeah.
Was the Cowboys 20-17 Sunday Night Football win over the Steelers impressive? And Lee, you're the Cowboys guy. The mic is yours.
Look, first of all, to me, you have to put everything in context. Pittsburgh, one of the top defenses in the NFL, one of the better running teams in the NFL. You sprinkle in Justin Fields and his athleticism and running the football. You had a team that were, coming into the game anyway, 3-1, and the upper echelon of the NFL. Dallas, injured. Micah Parsons is not there. DeMarcus Lawrence is not there. They lose another defensive end early in the ball game. And so, to me, how Dallas played, because they really dominated the game offensively. They were up and down the field all day long with Pittsburgh. Dak threw 2 interceptions and a fumble. If that hadn't occurred, it would have been a different score. Dallas actually dominated the game. And the most impressive thing to me about the Cowboys' victory was the way they stopped Pittsburgh's running the football. They only ended up, I think, with 92 yards rushing on the day. And that's not typically what Pittsburgh had done on the season. So you asked me, was it an impressive win? I say very much so impressive, because no one thought Dallas would come into Pittsburgh and win that game, especially without Micah Parsons, without DeMarcus Lawrence, without Brandon Cook, right? An injured team. Very impressed with how the Cowboys played in that game. Very impressed with their defensive effort 2 weeks in a row. Very impressed. A lot of people say Dak threw 2 interceptions. Dak was playing to win the game, and he was trying to let his players make a play. The interception to CeeDee Lamb, that was a miscommunication on their part. But I enjoyed how Dak played that game, and then leading them down on a 15-play drive to win the game. Very impressive. Big-time win by the Dallas Cowboys in my estimation.
Yeah, I wasn't that impressed by the Cowboys' victory. I'm going to just be honest. I almost fell asleep, maybe because the game was later. Okay, maybe that has something to do with it, to be fair, right? But look, I just wasn't impressed. I mean, it's mainly about how I feel about the Steelers. That really was the case. It's not mainly about the Cowboys. I understand you're a Cowboys fan, so I don't want to make it come off like I'm, trying to be a hater here. It's not mainly about the Cowboys. Now, clearly, I don't think the Cowboys are playing up to standard football right now, okay, this year in general. And yeah, sure, they have injuries and stuff like that. But it's mainly about the Steelers here, which is why I'm not impressed. I'm not really impressed by anybody who beat the Steelers, especially when they probably should have lost. Look, the Steelers are built like a mom and pop shop. They have no ceiling whatsoever, okay? The game was there to be had, okay, if you're the Steelers, right? Dak Prescott turned the ball over 3 times. I believe the Cowboys, they left a lot of touchdowns off the board.
It did.
But the problem is the Steelers feel that they could win a game in the modernized NFL by 17 points every single week. It's not going to happen. Okay, that's literally their philosophy. Oh, we want to play tough, play hard, play defense, get a turnover, and win the game by 17 points or at 17 points, okay, on the scoreboard for us. Not by 17 points, but us having 17 points. Let me make sure I'm clear, okay? Now, think about it. I mean, they had Mitch Trubisky, Kenny Pickett, now Fields and Wilson, mid, okay? Below mid and mid. Now, if you look at the Steelers this year, they only had over 20 points one time this season in 5 weeks. So literally, I'm backing up what I'm saying here. I'm not just saying anything, okay? And last year, they only had 2 30-point games last year, okay? So clearly, their philosophy is all we need is 20, and we can win the game with our defense, okay? That's not going to win and be sustainable every single week. Now, maybe next week it may work. Maybe it won't. But you're not going to win anything. You're not winning anything, bruh. You're not winning the Super Bowl that way. In a modernized NFL, cut the shenanigans, please. Oh, the standard is the standard. Oh, losing. losing in the playoffs, right? Like, come on, stop it. Stop it, folks. I mean, come on, y'all killing me now. And it's funny because my guys in the chat could back me up if they were on the show. But I actually wanted the Steelers to win, not because I hate the Cowboys. I don't really care about the Cowboys like that, nor do I care about the Steelers, but I kind of do because Mike Tomlin hasn't been winning the playoffs. So I kind of do because I said it. And a lot of people call me a hater. So now I actually have interest in the Steelers, but I actually wanted them to win this game. Ask my guys. I was like, you know what? I'm going to be a Steelers fan for a day. And guess what? I left that game back where I started. Okay. The clock management by Mike Tomlin. Excuse me. I'm so excited. By Mike Tomlin, the game management is horrible. And this is not only one example, folks. There's been many. Let's talk about this game, though. That's why we're here. Yeah. Tomlin let the clock run down to 36 seconds instead of using his timeout to preserve some time for his offense, right? Now, he waited till the Cowboys had an incompletion with the clock stopped on 4th down to use his timeout. When you don't need to use your timeout, you use it. And I guess it was to set up his defense. Yep. You know, that's why it was done. But you gave your offense zero shot to have any counter if the Steelers, if the Cowboys had scored in that play. You gave them no shot. Okay? And that's a microcosm of how this team is built anyway. They go all in for the defense. That's how they built. Yep. Now, last week, they left the timeout in the back pocket, which did not help Fields trying to make the comeback he did or fell short a little bit against the Colts. He had a timeout he didn't use to set up his offense on the 4th down. Okay? This is what I'm talking about. Now, you look at the Cowboys, they were without Michael Parsons, without Dexter Lawrence, and yet the Steelers' offense remained conservative. Okay? That's an issue. Najee Harris, you're talking about the running game. He averaged 3.0 yards per carry in this game. Okay? And matter of fact, I know why he doesn't even fit Arthur Smith's system, because he likes to, run inside, and then, you got Smith who wants you to run outside the tackles, and he don't got that speed like that. He's not LaDainian Tomlinson. Okay, he's not that dude. He's more of an inside guy. But so am I impressed? I'm going to pass it to you in a second. But am I impressed? I'm going to end off here. Am I impressed with the Cowboys? I mean, Dak Prescott, ain't he making $60 million? This should be a normity. Oh, game winning drop. Woohoo! No, do it in January. Then I'll be impressed. I'm not impressed.
You can only do it when you do it, Leah. You can only do it when you do it. You can only do it when you do it. He did it. He did it Sunday night. That's when he did it. He did it when he had to do it. That's all I'm going to say on that one.
Do it when it matters, man.
But let me say this to you. You make some great points about Pittsburgh. But I've been on your show before, and I said this, and it's all coming to fruition. Look, you make great points. They protect Justin Fields. Look, Justin Fields may one day be a great quarterback, but the way the Steelers play offense is to protect Justin Fields. They do not throw the ball down the field enough. They do not. And teams will play them that way. They don't threaten you. People say they don't have a second receiver. They don't even try to throw it. They'll make with Fields. They make an attempt every now and then to get it down the field, but it's not a down the field passing game. They need to, and I think they will, put Russell Wilson in there as quarterback, because Russell Wilson will throw the ball down the field. That's one of his best suits as a quarterback, is his down the field throwing of the football. And now you will see if the Steelers have an offense that attacks defenses, or they try to ground and pound you to the big. That was a great point. Running the football, they're too one-dimensional running the football. They need to attack down the field. I've been saying it all season long. They've been doing it with mirrors, with Justin Fields. And, yeah, he can run the ball. And, yeah, he had one 300-yard passing game, which was an anomaly. But their offense is not structured, and you made a great point, to the modern game. You have to threaten teams down the field, because now if you don't, you can cheat another 8-man up in the box, and if you can slow down their running game, then their offense is stopped. So great points, but it's Russell Wilson's time for the Steelers to see if now they can move the football down the field, and they can be more of a vertical attacking offensive football team.
I mean, you pretty much answered the subtopic. I'm gonna give you my thoughts on that, and feel free to respond to me. Should Mike Tomlin pivot to Russell Wilson after losing 2 straight games? And my answer to that is hell to the nah, nah, nah. Okay. Let's be honest. All right. These back-to-back L's is not on Justin Fields. Okay. Sure. Could he have been more accurate on his throws, especially on Sunday? Sure. Could he have made quicker decisions? Sure. Especially with the Cowboys missing Dexter Lawrence and Micah Parsons, right? But technically, he did lead the Steelers to a go-ahead touchdown on that shuffle pass to Freiermuth with 5 minutes left to go in the game. His defense, okay, did not hold up their end of the bargain. Let's be clear here, okay? He did lead a drive in the fourth quarter, and he did lead a comeback last week in the fourth quarter that got stalled at the end there. So he has been, inconsistent, sure. But he wasn't a fourth quarter guy in Chicago. So the fact that he is initiating drives, in the fourth quarter, leading to scores, to me is impressive. Now, I understand we could look at the stats and just lose our head and look at the stats primarily and look at some of the things within the game, but you have to take good and bad. I don't think Russell Wilson is going to give you all good anyway, right? So if you take good and bad with Fields, you're going to take good and bad with Wilson because he's a lame duck at this stage of his career. He's not going to give you the rushing upside that Fields is going to give you. It's give and take, add, subtract. Who do I rather, right? Now, do you rather a guy that has chemistry with the players already and continue and see if you can find a win here? Yeah, I think you should rather that rather than a guy coming off injury that, he should be healthy by now. But, I mean, what about the reps that he's missed? What about getting into a rhythm? I mean, we're not really thinking about all that right now. And technically, it's not like he's going to open up this offense tremendously. Now, he is a guy that likes to take the shot down the field. He's literally mainly effective with the goal balls up the sideline. That's his main dish. But it's not like the Steelers coach to be aggressive that way anyway. Now, one more point before I pass the mic back to you. I think once we address the elephant in the room, which is, head coach Mike Tomlin here and his philosophy, okay, like I'm being honest, it's not about his coaching, right? A lot of people think I'm talking about his coaching. I'm not talking about Mike Tomlin's coaching. He's a guy that I respect. He's a guy that got the respect of the league. In general, the players respect Mike Tomlin. It has nothing to do with his coaching. It has everything to do with his philosophy. And until we understand that, then we'll understand where I come from every time I have this Mike Tomlin discussion. And a lot of people is just not bringing it up. A lot of people is pointing to exterior, Kenny Pickett, Mitch, Fields, Wilson. But when are we going to look at the fact that this offense is predicated on scoring 17, 20 points? That's the mark. Look at the Baltimore Ravens and Bengals game. We scoring out here, B. We putting up 30, 38 to 35, bro. This the modernized NFL. And you out here zigging while we zagging. You out here on your own island, okay? While we over here living, okay? You out here with the campfire on your own island, starving, okay? No. Come and join our island, brother. Let's hold hands and sing Kumbaya and play some good football and entertaining football and win some playoff games. Oh, come on, bro. All right, the Cowboys came in the game ranked dead last at running the football, and they finished with 109 yards on 31 attempts. That's a Steelers fault right there. Come on, man. I ain't impressed with the Cowboys. It's the Steelers. Pack them up. For real. But anyway, any last points to the Wilson and Fields?
I just think Dallas improved on their running game. They made a commitment to running the ball. It wasn't the number of yardage; it was the commitment. The number.
I would commit too if it's working. Keep on doing it
because the number of attempts keeps a defense honest. So running the ball 31 times for 109 yards, it wasn't a high yard per attempt. But it was the attempts that kept them honest and kept the defense balanced. That's the first thing about running the football. But let me say this about
when your quarterback throws 3 interceptions, you may want to run the football. Yeah, that's a good game plan. Run the ball.
I never was. He threw 2 interceptions and had a fumble. I never was worried about Dak Prescott. Because I knew what he was going to do. This play right here, the receiver should have ran through that and either caught the ball or made an attempt to catch it so it wouldn't have been intercepted. That's more on the receiver in my estimation than Dak. But neither here nor there. When he got the ball, he won the football game. But let's go back to the Steelers. When Mike Tomlin had Ben Roethlisberger, they threw the ball all over the yard. When you have Mitch Trubisky and some of the Kenny Pickett and some of the trash that they have, there's a certain way you have to win because you have trash at quarterback. Now, everybody keeps saying Russell Wilson is this, that, or the other. Russell Wilson had 26 touchdowns last year and 8 interceptions. So his touchdown to interception ratio is good. He had more touchdowns. He was in the upper half of the NFL with touchdown throws, and he throws the deep ball. I tell you this, Lil, when Russell Wilson steps into that huddle, the Pittsburgh Steelers offense will be much better at attacking defenses, and you will see Arthur Smith open up the offense more and trust their offense down the field. Trust me on that. Pittsburgh will be better for it. They'll be a better team. This is not a referendum on Justin Fields, but reading defenses, accuracy is not Justin Fields' forte. We saw that in the game. He was missing throws high, and the trust factor and throwing the ball down the field was not there for Pittsburgh. It will change with Russell Wilson, trust me.
Look, I think Fields, with all his flaws, can be a quarterback that can lead an explosive offense if you tap into his potential, right? If you cater an offense to fit his skill set, you can put up points on the board. So I don't even want to hear, like, you got a good point as far as the Big Ben days and how at one point they was putting up points, like the killer threes, the killer bees, rather, right? They was putting up points. I get it. But they can do the same thing with Fields. Maybe not to that extent, but they can put up some points with Fields if they tailor the game and help him out. The problem is they're too conservative. They're not staying on the field offensively. So now when you try to rely on your defense, because that's how you do, or we want to play the game and win with our defense. Well, guess what? Your defense is out there on the field too much. And now they lead a game with they let a game-winning drive happen with Dak Prescott because they out there out there on the field, exposed. So the offense is going to have to meet up their end of the bargain to meet the defense halfway. You cannot play one-sided football. Cannot.
I
especially the other way around. Especially the other way around.
And I think that one-sidedness is due to protecting the quarterback. I really do. Matter of fact, I know they do. They protect the quarterback in their game planning, and that's why Pittsburgh needs to go back to Russell Wilson. There's no doubt about it in my mind.
All right, we'll see if Wilson could fix the issues here offensively with the Steelers. We are going to go to halftime here, and when we come back from halftime in about 2 minutes or less than 2 minutes, I'll say about 2 minutes, we are going to move on. Keep it locked.
Please like and subscribe for all the up-to-date content. You've been slinging shows left and right, slinging content left and right. Please don't miss anything. If you do, like, subscribe, leave a comment, leave a question, something you may want to answer, something you may have. All ideas are great ideas. Nothing's a dumb question.